Is it really 6 minutes after the hour? I apologize for being late. Is it 6 minutes?
Barely.
Barely 6 minutes? Very good. This is the Arts, Parks, Health, and Aging. Madam Clerk, could we take these items up here? Item number 1.
Item number 1 is a report from the Los Angeles Public Library in response to a motion from Alarcon Labange relative to current literacy levels of Los Angeles residents and city employees.
Hi, how are you? I'm Chris Marita from the Library Department, and this is Victoria Aiken, our Director of Adult Services Programs and Volunteer Programs. We turned in a report on this motion, but I'll summarize it briefly, our report.
Thank you.
And then answer any questions that you might have. The Library Department submitted a report in response to Motion 06-1986-S1, requesting information about literacy and our efforts to improve literacy. According to the Los Angeles Workforce Literacy Project's report entitled Literacy at Work, 53% of Los Angeles County's working age population have low literacy skills. According to the 2005 National Assessment of Educational Progress, California's 4th and 8th graders rank among the lowest nationally in reading. The Los Angeles Public Library tries to reduce illiteracy. We have a collection of over 6.4 million books and resources to encourage children and adults to read. We have several literacy programs, including Read to Me LA, a pre-literacy program to prepare toddlers to read, and we also have an adult literacy program in which volunteers teach adults how to read. We offer the largest after-school program in the city for all students, and we provide books and resources to help students with their homework and encourage reading. We conduct and host 20,000 programs on an annual basis at our 72 libraries, and literacy is a component of every one of those programs. We partner with many educational and community organizations to develop and implement core library literacy programs, and the library's major partner is the Library Foundation of Los Angeles. They provide much of the funding for our 19 adult literacy centers, as well as the majority of the library's citywide literacy programs for children and teens. The library chairs the Mayor's Citywide Literacy Advisory Committee. Members of the committee include the Mayor's Office of Education, Youth and Families, Literacy at Work, LAUSD, LA's Best, Department of Aging, Commission for Children, Youth and Family, Cultural Affairs, Recreation and Parks Department, Literacy Network of Greater Los Angeles. The library has a leadership role in the Mayor's Literacy Plan, creating a more literate Los Angeles. By joining together with our literacy partners and other city departments, we educate the public about the literacy programs available to them. By strengthening our partnerships, we can make more literacy programs available to the public. So we're happy to answer any questions you have.
How often does someone find their way to the library that is not the traditional library patron, could you tell, and then gets hooked by reading and makes a change in their life?
I think every day.
Right.
In all our libraries.
Right.
So it's a wonderful thing.
Well, good. Well, what we'll do is we're going to send this forward to council.
Okay.
It's a nice direct report. And you've already shared this with Mr. Alarcon?
Right.
So he's been briefed by your staff. And is it go to Children and Neighborhoods Committee?
The item is going to Education and Neighborhoods Committee.
Great,
after
and then it
this.
will come forth to council at the time. So thank you so much. Appreciate what you do. I know, as I said to the librarian, anytime I'm on a day like today, Madam City Attorney, if I walked into a library, it'd be busy with people, and you'd say, the city has made a great investment for its citizens by providing these libraries and the staffs.
And thank you for restoring our Sunday hours and our book budget. We really
You betcha.
appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
See you. Bye-bye. Say hi to Ponte.
I will.
Okay. Next item.
Item number 2 is a motion from Alarcon Cardness relative to recommendations for demolishing the structure on Van Nuys Boulevard, turning it into parkland, the feasibility of constructing a library, and potential funding sources.
Cheryl Bernards from the CLA's office. Our office recommends that you continue this item as staff is still working on a report back regarding this matter.
So ordered. How long would you like it to continue?
60 days.
60 days. Next item.
Item number 3 is a motion, Wizar Cardness, relative to the feasibility of erecting a statue in honor of Antonio Aguilar at Placida Olivera.
Anyone here for this matter? CLA, run a report.
This item was previously continued in February because I believe El Pueblo was still waiting on a final proposal. However, at the time of this meeting, there has been no report submitted,
So we should continue it unless we know otherwise.
unless there's someone from El Pueblo that'd like to report on this matter.
Oh, good, okay. El Pueblo?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Jeffrey Mendoza. I'm a management analyst at El Pueblo. We've asked for a two-week continuance or delay for the erection of the statue.
2 weeks
Correct.
concerning this matter.
I'm sorry?
Give me your request again.
We've requested a two-week delay for the erection of this statue.
For the consideration. It's not approving anything. We're
Yes.
just going to hold it on the table.
That's correct.
We'll hold it for 30 days to give you time to make sure you get your breath.
Okay.
If you need it sooner, check for scheduling.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Next.
Item number 4 is a report from the Department of Recreation and Parks relative to parking and loading facilities in the Broadway Theater District.
Anyone here for this item number 4? Mike?
Good afternoon, Councilmember. Mike Schall's Planning and Development, Recreation and Parks. I'm actually not here on this item, but have not really been involved with it. Other than, I do know that the department's supportive of the initiative of bringing back the historical core, and we think that the parking garage already actually meets, some of the things that from the intent of the motion for public parking. So. We're all for improvements to the facility, and I think we'd probably have to do some research with the Bureau of Engineering on some of the aspects of the motion, and I think that was what was included in the report.
Great. So we'll move this forward. Move it forward. Next item.
I believe there's a speaker card for this item.
You're very good. I'm sorry. From
Hi.
Councilmember Jan Perry's office. Kara?
Kieran Hashmi,
Hi.
Councilman Jan.
I apologize,
That's
Kara.
all right.
You don't need to fill out a card if you're a deputy.
Okay.
Say you want to speak, but thank you.
Councilman Perry is fine with the report back, except for the paragraph dealing with the parking issue. Councilman feels this revenue source should not be overlooked. There are a number of parking lots on Broadway which should be used for the Broadway Theater District, for example, St. Vincent's Jewelry Center, as these are closer and much more convenient for patrons. The council office is requesting that parking options for overnight parking, whether residential or business, not be overlooked by the department.
So what would we recommend to do with that request from Ms. Perry, Madam CLA?
We can go ahead and have the department report back on the request by the council member, but if the deputy could send me those requests, so we can contact the appropriate department.
And will that change any action there, Madam Clerk?
It will not.
Good, okay, so ordered. Next item.
Item number 5 is a report from the Board of Police Commissioners in response to a motion, Cardness Garcetti, relative to crime statistics for Glassell Park Recreation Center.
Anyone here to speak on this Glassell Park Rec Center? Debbie?
Good afternoon. Debbie Rowland, Superintendent of the Metropolitan Region. This particular motion deals with part of the gang reduction zones and the summer programs we'll be offering at various facilities, and Glassell Park was added to this particular program. It had it last year, and it's this year, and also it's identifying additional funding from different sources for this summer program.
So this is part and parcel. You met with the councilman of the 13th District?
Right, they're very, very
Okay.
happy to have Glassell Park included as part of this summer nighttime program. It's a Wednesday through Saturday night from 7 p.m. to 12 p.m.
Great. Well, go for it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for jumping up.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item number 6 is a report from the City Administrative Officer relative to a gift agreement between the Department of Recreation Parks and the Headblade for the new flooring at Muscle Beach Right Pen at Venice Beach Recreation Center.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Delilah Pucha, CAO. The proposed agreement between Headblade and the department is for 10 years from the date of execution. This will consist of removing and disposal of old weight equipment, old flooring, installation of new flooring with a 10-year warranty, and new weight equipment obtained through a separate gift agreement. In return, the department will invite the donor to all public relations events and activities involving the gift and recognize the donor through the placement of the donor's logo inside the Muscle Beach weight pin. There's no fiscal impact. The city improvements are valued up to $17,500, and there is department staff available to answer any specific questions you may have.
Very good. And Mr. Rosenthal's been briefed on this, you know? The 11th District Councilman?
Yeah.
Very good. So move forward. Thank you. Madam Clerk,
Item number 7, and that is
Right.
also a report from the City Administrative Officer relative to agreement with bodybuilding.com regarding equipment for the Muscle Beach right pin.
Great.
Delilah Pucha, CAO. The proposed conditional gift agreement between the Department of Rec and Parks and Bodybuilding and Company is for a term of 10 years from the date of execution. The donor will provide the department with a gift consisting of weight equipment valued up to $30,000, a 5-year maintenance service valued at $3,000, and a 10-year warranty from the equipment manufacturer Star Trek. In return, the department will invite the donor to all public relations events and activities involving the gift and recognize the donor through the placement of the donor's logo inside the Muscle Beach weight pin. The department will also waive pin fees for the donor's distinguished athletes. There's no additional impact on the general fund. Department staff is available to answer any specific questions you may have.
I think I'm okay as long as you've briefed Mr. Rosenthal's office. And I see a unison of support from your colleagues in the rear. Next issue will be reconsideration of item number 4. And 2 people are here to speak to it. There was a representative of the Pueblo Monument. I think he left. So we have to notify him. I would like to have the deputy come up for Jessica McLean.
Yes.
Jessica. And also Brady, Westwater. Anybody else need to speak? You want to fill out a card, turn it in with the clerk. Hi. Everybody fill out a card?
Carol Jacobson with Rec and Parks. Do I
Okay,
need to
good.
fill out?
No, we'll just add you to that. You got that? Rec and Park staff. Okay.
Good afternoon,
Jessica, how are
Council
you?
Member. Thank you. My name is Jessica Wethington McLean. I'm here representing Council Member Jose Huizar.
Right.
This motion about Broadway parking is very important to the council member. It's a big part of his Bringing Back Broadway initiative, which I know you, sir, have heard quite a bit about, and downtown is very excited about. We're very happy with the report overall. We've worked very closely with the department in trying to develop it. The big goal here is to ensure that one of our largest public facilities downtown is available to the historic theaters and the great commercial uses that are around us in our historic core. There had been some concern, although the department's been very clear that this is not a concern to be concerned about, that over time residential uses may infringe upon the commercial use of that garage for public use. And so we addressed it through the motion, and we appreciate the department's response. We're very happy with the report. We do have 3 requests for your consideration, Councilmember Labange, which we've discussed with the department already, and that is that the flat rate that's available be extended to folks through 2:30 in the morning. And that's because as Broadway becomes a destination to go, we're talking about folks that might go to a show and then out to a late dinner. The restaurants and bars may close at 2, and we don't want people to come in at 8 and pay their flat rate to midnight, but then have to pay a daily rate after 12. So we would just like a cost analysis on that. And also regarding...
Jessica, you know the name of this committee?
Arts, Parks, Health, and Aging.
Yeah,
I know.
isn't it bad to eat that late at night, though? Isn't it bad to eat that late? I don't want unhealthy people. It makes great sense to adjust the time.
Thanks.
I think I'd adjust it to 4 in the morning. I only say that not that I'm a nightclubber by no shape or means, but if most establishments close at 2, people probably find their way a little. It's a different world. I'll ask members of the staff. But I think I'm flexible. Make a recommendation to council. What's the exact time? Because if you are closing an establishment at 2, sometimes they serve coffee or some other things light. Maybe it's 3 or 4.
A very valid point, sir.
As long
Thank
as
you.
we're changing, that'd be good to do.
The next point that Councilmember Weezer asked me to make for you was
I'd like to ask the
that
deputy for Jan Perry's office to join the table too, because you were here to comment, to make sure we're all on the same page.
as I mentioned, the largest priority we had with this motion was to make sure that our public garage is kept for commercial uses. The department's been very clear that they have a standing policy not to contract out for residential parking in a public garage. We would just like to see an officially written policy to that effect so that we can be sure, as our private investors along Broadway and Hill Street and Spring invest in their properties and do adaptive reuse, that they're going to have public parking available to them that will not be infringed upon by residential. And then the third thing we were going to request, which the department actually started doing for us this morning on their own, was just to request a working group be formed for the kiosk and the elevator, because there's a lot of interdepartmental coordination that we need. So we'd like an official referral to the department to request that. And they actually reached out to us. So if we
Right.
could make it official, that would
Okay,
be great.
Accepting the reaching out of the department.
Thank you, sir.
The council member of the 14th district asked that a working group be formed. With any sunset to the working group? Because I have any sunset. I formed a working group, but it's still working. That's 4 years ago, so I think.
Well, as you know, we're all very, very aggressive
Yeah.
and forward-thinking on this initiative, so I would
Okay.
think it would be about a year worth of
Good.
real coordination.
Yeah. And does this coordinate with any concerns or with Ms. Perry?
No,
We're all on the same page? So, thank you so much, Jessica.
I'm Brady Westwater, Vice President, Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council. And since the Neighborhood Council was first formed, Broadway has always been one of our prime goals, to get that reopened, get the theaters reopened. And we completely support the council person and what he's been doing on Broadway, and we support this resolution. We have passed our own resolutions in the past, and as you have suggested, our closing date was 4 a.m. also.
Right.
We are prepared to support the council office on 2:30, but our formal resolution was 4 o'clock. We actually do have venues that will be open to 3 and 4 in the morning, not
Right.
serving alcohol.
Now, believe it or not, in the home that I was raised in, I slept outside from March to about November, and I live in the same neighborhood now, and it's so much more traffic because people are operating all night. It's in the Silver Lake District. The street where there's traffic is Hyperion, so people are moving all night long now. So I would say you should look at 4 o'clock instead of 2:30, because that's, to be, I think, fair.
I think you've twisted our arms on this.
All right, good.
Yes, sir. The council office would definitely not be opposed to that.
Good, okay.
And also, as far as the residential uses, the residents of downtown want this protected to encourage the nightlife, because people are coming downtown because they want a 24/7 downtown, and the residents downtown understand for that to happen, we do need to have Pershing Square available for people to keep our venues open at night.
Right, now, we have to change the ordinance because the park closes at a certain hour, right?
You could walk through it at any time. You can't use the park, but you could walk through it 24 hours a day.
Right, but you could walk through it?
Yes.
It's not closed?
At 4 o'clock, when I walk by and I say hi to the security guard, to say hi to
I
me.
understand that, but I mean, there's an ordinance that probably may or may not be there. Does anybody know there? Yes.
Yes, sir, we do close the park at night. The people who need to walk through the park may in fact walk through. Our security force will let them walk through. The garage is open 24 hours.
Okay. There's no conflict. City Attorney, will you look at that, just see if there's any conflict that needs to be done on that? If there's a conflict. Good. How old's Oklahoma?
I just wrestle, so I collect wrestling shirts.
No.
I have my John Marshall shirt, but I couldn't find it
Yeah,
today.
you should have worn it there. You would have got an easier vote for me. Oklahoma's 100 years old. Now, any other
I'll just introduce myself, Mike Bueller, Director of Advocacy for the Los Angeles Conservancy. Obviously, the Conservancy has been working for over 10 years to revitalize the Broadway Historic Theater District, and indeed the Pershing Square parking is essential to our annual Last Remaining Seats program, and we would like to support the council's motion and the specific requests made today.
Right.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, good. And what happens to the subway stops at midnight, right? Yeah, so that's one of the challenges too. It would have been interesting. The subway was supposed to go down Broadway, but the theater owner at the time didn't want to disrupt his theaters. And that was far-sighted, because it would have really added to the life of Broadway. And they chose Hill Street because it was closer to the Board of Supervisors, who had a majority of votes on the transit board.
We're getting the streetcar on Broadway, so.
Well, I hope you think on that, the right way to do the connection, because there was also another plan of an aerial tram from the Union Station to the Convention Center that was going down Figueroa that was killed in 1981. So if you look at some of those old plans to see what it is. Anyone else have anything to contribute? Yes.
Carol Jacobson, Pershing Square Facility Manager, Recreation and Parks. Would like just to add a couple of comments from the department about the 3 requests. As Jessica mentioned, we would like to do a cost analysis of the of extending the flat rate and see what impact that may have on the item adopting language regarding no residential parking. We would like to discuss that internally, refer that to the city attorney, and for some further discussion, make sure that we are well within bounds here legally. And
on that too, I know in some of the small parking lots that we have in the city, there's one on Largemont, and what we try to do is push all the realtors or others to buy spaces so it fills it up. So, I think it should be open, even though you don't want to, you'd always rather have customers coming, whatever they are. But yet, if you could get revenue from a base, do what makes sense, but come to some consensus between the neighborhood council, the council offices, and the department on that issue.
certainly, and our comments are generated in the interest of making sure that everything works well when we're done with
Right.
this. And thirdly, as Jessica mentioned, we're already in process on the kiosk and the elevator groundwork and research. So, and very excited to be a part of the Bringing Back Broadway initiative and looking forward to being a big part of that.
Great. Okay, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, move forward. No, you want to, I just move forward on these.
Thank you, sir.
Move forward.
Yes,
Report
indeed.
back is, I didn't get the report done.
Thank you, council member.
You betcha, thank you. Anything
And
else?
Just to clarify, the item will move forward to council with an instruction for the Department of Recreation and Parks to form a working group to look at these issues.
Right, and work closely with the council District 14 and 9, with 14 being the lead since Broadway's in the 14.
Okay, thank you.
Any other matters before this committee? May I adjourn, Madam City Attorney? All righty, thank you.